How are you there? 21 August, 1 day and some hours away from Zimbabwe's watershed 2023 and harmonized elections, and I have made my decision. I endorse Comrade Nelson Chamisa to become the next president of Zimbabwe to bring about a great new Zimbabwe. That is loading. Thank you very much, Sam. I've been following the Mkomana bit along the campaign trail. And one thing I want to say about his Ndebele, campaigning is good. It will teach people Ndebele. He was murdering the language in Bedbridge, But listening to him speak in Bulawayo from a white city, his Ndebele is so much improved. He will take away all our girls. If he goes at this rate, he even said it. He said when he becomes president, he is going to spend 2 weeks in Bulawayo, 2 weeks in Harare, and Uten, he said another joke that Chitalo, he's gonna take the queens. And I'm afraid he's gonna take the queens because this Ndebele is improving a lot. Let's speak up. That's what being a nationalist is. I admire that he put an effort to it, and the effort that he put on in his speech in Bulawayo, he did address Kukurawundi, and he does go the extra mile when he addresses Kukurawundi. He says that and you go to the places where there were massacres and create what you call it, some erect some monument in remembrance of the massacre. And then he says, "This is where we have gone, and we shall go no more there." And that is the kind of a leader, especially a Shona leader, that people in Matabeleland are waiting for. Someone who will boldly approach the pain of Matabeleland and address it accordingly. Not just Gokrahundi, he did speak a lot of the issues that people in Matabeleland usually complaining about government positions of Ndebele people in the government institutions. It's something that is worrying to me and the rest of other Ndebeles, that we are treated as if we are not a people, not even second class or third class. It's almost as if there is this cold war, okay, that is perpetrated or waged against the Ndebele people in the Ndebele state of some sort. There is no Ndebele state to speak of. There is Zimbabwe. Joshua Mqabeko Nkomo was not fighting the war for Ndebele state. He was fighting for Zimbabwe. And for some reason, the people of ZANU-PF, they cooked up um, an enemy that just does not exist. Okay, so I like the way that Nelson Chamisa's policies, this policy direction seems to be addressing that part. He did speak a lot about devolution, or things that are along the lines of devolution, de-Hararization of the country. This thing of everything is in Harare. That's excessive centralization of Harare makes everybody else feel like they're left out and not part of the broader economy. He did speak about the reindustrializing Bulawayo and making Bulawayo the industrial hub not only of Zimbabwe but of the whole region, which is a good move, bold policy statement there by Nelson Chamisa, 2023 presidential aspirant, whom I believe will garner and get the majority of the votes. But of course, the big problem that we are facing is the fact that ZANU-PF and their surrogates are known for rigging elections. I do not know how Mnangagwa is going to rig an election when people are hungry. How will he justify winning an election when the people that voted for him do not have food? And as we're going next year, things are going to be tough. The US economy might not achieve a soft landing. There might be a fall in the US economy. Just if we take a look at the bond market in the United States, it's indicating it's having a high flash, a flash that you had in 2007 before the 2008 financial crisis. Our short-term bond yields are extremely high, and yeah, that might be just a precursor of a financial global financial crash that would have bigger implications for the Zimbabwe economy, and it will be hard for Idim Nangagwa if he rigs the elections. It will be hard for him to maintain power or to justify his insistence on leading the nation. Therefore, all of these or imperatives or these things going on, they paint a gloomy picture for a sustained Idi Mnangagwa presidency. So, in a day and some hours from now, as Zimbabweans go to vote, I do believe that the majority of the Zimbabweans are going to vote for change, and that change is in nowhere else other than Nelson Chamisa, who has been the forefront leader of the revolution. Though we have had many parties, some of us we have belonged to smaller parties. I myself have started small political parties. I have founded political parties before, and I do lead a very small. I'm not going to say insignificant. We're just a very small political party. However, at this juncture, we do recognize uh, what is at stake. What is at stake is the success of our country, not just our individual success, but the success of the country. And to take Zimbabwe forward, we see Nelson Chamisa is the vehicle that should take Zimbabwe out of the hellhole that ZANU PF has plunged us into from the in the past 43 years. So, viva citizens, viva Nelson Chamisa. I do endorse 100% Nelson Chamisa as we go to the elections. And I hope that all the other smaller parties also do the same thing, endorse Nelson Chamisa, even the other bigger parties to endorse Nelson Chamisa, so that we can have this mighty pact in Zimbabwe that is against Idim Nangagwa and the ZANU PF hooligans, and they will know that there is a Jehovah in Zimbabwe and the Jehovah lives. And if we vote resoundingly against the ZANU PF, even though they have got their state sponsored machinery of rigging, it's going to be very difficult. I've heard what Nelson Chamisa was saying concerning his adoption of all polling stations, and the way that they are going to collect evidence and collect election results so that they'll be able to announce SCCC their own version of the results based on the evidence that they do hold. And obviously, we do know from a previous experience that ZEC will have its own version of the results. And this time around, I do believe that the Triple C is much clever in collecting data, so that if there is going to be a dispute, which is most likely to happen, we do have must have a lot of evidence to take to the courts, so that we can really do expose if the courts are captured, or indeed the courts can bring liberty to Zimbabwe. I do not want us not to believe that the courts may be independent. By the way, constitutionally speaking, the courts are independent. So this thing of bribery and stuff like that, you never know. A human being can change. A human being can just decide not to follow what it tells them to do, but to do what is right for their country and also for their future children. Hallelujah. My name is Ngobani Zondo. Have a blessed evening. And I'm gonna say it again. I endorse Nelson Chamisa to become the next president of Zimbabwe, and I hope we win. Viva my citizens.